If you love the charm of farmhouse decor, but not the high prices, you are in the right place. Today, I'm sharing 10 of my favorite DIY farmhouse-style decor projects using Dollar Tree supplies. These are affordable, easy to make, and look so high-end.
Hi, I'm Loli, and I'm so glad you are here.
Here, I'm going to use one of these frames from the Dollar Tree. I just removed that little clip that came with it, and I'm going to take my white Black & Decker paint and primer, and I'm going to give this a very heavy dry brush. Then I noticed that there was some little rough edges here, so I'm just taking my nail file from Dollar Tree and sanding off all those edges. Then I'm coming in with this wreath that I got from a home sign that I also got from Dollar Tree. I'm going to attach it right there to the middle using the same little screw that I took off before, and I'm just screwing it to the same hole, but making sure that the screw is between the two little wires in this wreath, and then I just tighten it a bit so it will hold it in place. Then I took some of this baker's twine from Dollar Tree and I made a bow with it, and I'm going to glue it right there at the top of this wreath. And here it is, but I'm not done yet. I'm going to go ahead and paint the back of this. I do not like how you can see it once you put it down like that. So I'm going to take my ink color from Waverly, and I just did a full coat. Just one coat, it was enough to cover this up. I did it in the entire back part of this piece. And of course, I still wasn't satisfied. So I'm going to dry brush the same ink paint color on the edges of each one of the openings. And I also dry brushed the outside part. And that's it. Let me know what you think. For the second inspiration, I used one of these crates from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to sand down the little rough edges that it had. It was a little bit fuzzy. I wanted everything to have a nice finish. Then I gave it a coat of, actually 2 coats of my Black & Decker paint and primer in the color white. And then I took one of these little biggies from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to remove it from its little base. It just had a couple little screws on there. I'm going to put those to the side because I will be using those along with the little piggy. All right, we're going to place the little piggy on top of our crate. Here I'm trying to figure out exactly the best placement. I wanted it to be, the pig to be centered, which meant that the base was going to be a little bit to one side. So the first thing that I did was, I was thinking that I could just screw them in, but no, I just marked where the hole is supposed to be, use my drill and pre-drill a couple holes, and then position my pig back on there and put the screws in. And this is how we're looking so far. Now we're going to come in with some rub-on transoms from Dollar Tree and make sure that my surface was nice and clean. And I'm going to take 3 words out of that rubber transfer that you see there, and it's the word welcome, the word home, and family. I'm going to place welcome at the top, then the home is going to be in the middle, and the family at the end. If you see there, it says life is better on the farm, welcome, home, family. I love how that sounded all together. So that's pretty much what we're doing there. And these rub-on transfer, guys, they're so cute. It looks like it's part of the piece, and they come off very easily. And my friends, if you're enjoying this video so far, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up. That helps my video be seen by more people. And if you also enjoying the content so far, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell set to all so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. It is all free and it means the world to me. And thank you so much for clicking on my video and spending time with me today. And as subscribers, you guys know already, I love you dearly. That robin looked like it took forever, guys, but it didn't. Here it is, but you know already I'm extra. I'm not done yet. We're going to add some jute cord to the other end that felt a little bit blank. I just wrapped it a couple times around it. Go ahead, and I went ahead and put the knot at the very top of the crate there. I created a double knot. Make sure to put a little bit of hot glue on it when I was done tying it. And then we are going to add a cute little bow as well. My friends, summer is upon us. The kids are getting out of school. Let me know in the comments, what are you looking forward to for the summer? I would really like to know. So friends, here I added beads to the end of my little tails of my bow that I had left over. I just thought I just gave it a little bit of a different touch, and I like how that natural bead looked against the white crate. Let me know what you think of this one so far. We are pretty much done with it. Don't forget to leave me your thoughts in the comments. I'm going to use one of these houses from the Dollar Tree. The little part in the top already fell off, so that worked out. Then I took some of this vinyl from the Dollar Tree and I placed the roof of the house there. Cut off any excess vinyl, did little slits on the different sizes, and just wrapped it completely around this piece. And then you're gonna position it right back onto the house right there. I just used some hot glue to do that. Then I took the D off of this little garland from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to glue it to the middle right there. But I thought it was a little bit plain, the sides on there. So I took some of my ink Waverly chalk paint, and I'm going to distress the entire perimeter of the house, all the areas where the white is. And then I attach the D to the middle. This is for the initial of our last name. And to embellish it further and cover the hole there on the D, I put a jute cord bow right on top. And that's it, guys. I lie. I actually put beads on this as well. I'm just gonna put the same little wooden beads, unfinished wood beads, at each end of the tail of the bow. And now I am truly done. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. For the fourth and final DIY, and my favorite, I used two of these summer signs from Dollar Tree, and I completely sanded off all the glitter off of them. It had lots and lots and lots of glitter. So if you can avoid yourself some trouble and just get yourself some of the signs that have no glitter, that will make your life a lot easier. Thank God I had my little vacuum to help me there. So once that was done, I butted my signs bottom to bottom, and I'm taking paint stir sticks to secure them together. The first thing that I did is set up the perimeter. I'm going to completely frame this using the paint stir sticks and some popsicle sticks in the middle. There I changed it in the middle later on. I ended up putting more paint stir sticks and also popsicle sticks there in the middle. But for now, I am framing the entire perimeter. And what I did, I just lined up the paint stir sticks on the sides and then cut pieces to fit in between those at the top and bottom in the middle of the two other stir sticks. You'll see in a second, I believe, you will see an angle. Here, guys, I added my hanger prior to. The idea was to encase them there to give it a little bit of security by doing that. But I totally forgot to add beads to my jute cord, and that was my idea from the get-go. So you'll see me later fix that. But for now, here I'm just setting up the entire frame here, and pretty much that's what I did, just marking the places where I need to cut. I used my miter shears to help me with this. It was hard. I think I need to change my blade. I gotta figure out how to do that. And then I'm just placing it, you know, in the little ends there. Just, I don't know, just going with it. Here you can see my idea of enclosing the jute cord on there, but it didn't work out. Once all my pieces was set up and cut, now I'm going to come in with some of this Loctite wood glue that I found at Dollar Tree. I was so excited when I found that, guys. So what I'm doing is I'm adding hot wood glue and some of this wood glue to each piece and positioning it right back in the places where they belong. Here's where I decided to add the other paint still sticks to the middle as well. I just had one piece there, and then I took a full painter stick and cut it in half to create 3 of them, and I'm just gluing them the same way I did the others. And I added the popsicle sticks in between of those. And now that we have a solid structure, I'm going to go ahead and flip it over and prep for painting. So remember I told you about the beads? I was trying to remedy the problem by just cutting the jute cord there, adding the beads and tying it together. And then I did that. I said, no, sure, that should be fine, no big deal. Guys, I'm OCD. It did not, I didn't like the way it looked, and I just, I tried it to try to not be so OCD about it, and it's not a big deal. Later on I changed it, but anyway. And now I'm gonna go ahead and take some of that lightweight sparkle from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to put it right in between that joint. I did 2 coats of it. I did one, let it dry, did another. Then after it dried, I sanded it down, then I painted it all white. Now I'm coming in with these 2 sticks, pieces of wood from Dollar Tree. I used 2 of them, measured them, and I went to my saw and cut them. Then I took them and painted them with my folk art rich black paint. These pieces will be going in the top and bottom of my project. So after I painted it, I put more sparkle and then sanded it down again and then touched up the white once again. Now we are going to go back to that hanger, guys. It was bothering me so bad. Yeah, I didn't like it. So I removed it from there, and I'm going to use my drill to re-drill those holes and put holes on the stir sticks that I put in the back there. So, but first I'm going to touch up that paint where I added that sparkle. And while that dries, I'm going to work on this little crate. I painted it using my antique wax from Waverly. So here I am actually drilling the holes that I told you about to redo my hanger. Guys, I'm leaving all this in so you see the struggles that we go through. Is, just because we're in camera doing it doesn't mean we don't go through struggles. We do too. So here you go. This is just a little teaching moment for myself, and then giving you an example of what things can go wrong. And with me, something always goes wrong. All right, so I created my hanger again using another piece, and now I'm adding it to the new holes, and I am satisfied. However, I left some jute cord enough to be able to now attach that black piece of wood that I showed you earlier on top of that jute cord, and now we have that security as well, and that is hidden in between the 2 boards, and I love it how this turned out. Now we're gonna work on the bottom. This one was easy peasy lemon squeezy. Added my wood glue, my wood hot glue, and put it on there. Just be very careful here that you're putting it leveled. Now that this crate has dried, I'm going to glue it right there on the bottom as well. Same thing, combination of the two glues. I want this to last forever. Then I went to my Cricut and created this lovely little clock. This, guys, I made this project for myself before I started my channel. And my husband has been bothering me, telling me, listen, you did this such a good job with this one. You need to make more and sell them. So this is my second one. I am listening to him. And there you go. Here you see that I did add this a little bit lopsided. I don't know if you notice. My OCD brain does notice it. It bothers me. My husband says he can barely notice it. I don't know. But I just, I drilled a hole onto where the middle of where the little hands that the clock's supposed to be, and took one of these clock mechanisms that I ordered that I ordered a while ago from Amazon, and I'm going to add it right in there. I just put it in the back, and it comes with all the pieces. I tanned it up using my needle nose pliers. Oh my God, I can't talk today, guys. I'm sorry. Now I'm adding the little hands of my clock on there. It's so easy to set this up, guys. Don't get intimidated with this. It is easy peasy. I just added that, added the second one. The secret is to make sure that your needles are straight and they don't touch each other, so they're able to pass each other as the clock is running. And lastly, I'm adding the second hand. Making sure that everything goes in circle properly. We are going to go ahead and add a battery on, just testing things out, making sure that it works before I do anything else. And it does. I did not like how long the second hand was, so I just trimmed it a little with my scissors. And here we go. It is working. Now I took this metal piece that says welcome. I took it off of the windmill, and that home sign, painted it with my Waverly antique wax. And I'm going to glue it right there on my piece. This is going to be going closest to the crate. Then I took the welcome sign and I'm adding E6000 to all four corners of it, and some hot glue for the instant hold. This is metal. Hot glue don't really like metal too much, so the E6000 should hold it in place in the long run. Now I'm adding some of this floral foam to the inside of my crate. Just adding some hot glue to make it stay in place. For here, guys, if you want to use this to put other things in, you can skip this part. I want to put some greenery on here. So I'm going to use this greenery I got from Dollar Tree. I'm using 2 bunches of it. I cut it into the individual stems, and I'm just going to first put some Spanish moss on there to cover the floral foam. And then I'm going to add my stems into my crate. Guys, as I'm doing this, I am so excited. I can't wait for you guys to see this piece. I am in love. This one came out so much cuter than the first one. This project I'm going to put to sell. So I want to cover the back. I wish I would have done this before I added the crate, because it made it a little bit harder to do it. But I got it done anyway, and I should have done it also before I put the other stuff. But anyway, then I took some of these mushrooms that I got at Dollar Tree, and I painted 4 of them actually. The first time you saw 3, I actually decided to do 4, and I'm going to use them as pegs on this piece. So I drill holes in each one of the pegs, and now I'm drilling holes on the bottom wood piece of the project. I took a long skinny wood screw from Home Depot, actually from Lowe's, and I'm screwing that through the entire piece until the peg or the little mushroom, whatever we're going to call it, we're going to call them peg from now on, were attached. I repeated that with both ends, and there were some places in which I had a hard time tightening it. I just took a needle down plier and tightened it up. Now here I'm measuring the places where I want to put the other 2 pegs, and I wanted to make sure that they were spaced correctly and they were centered correctly. So here you see me doing a second measure before I drilled. Then once I was happy with it, I drilled my holes and attached my pegs just like I did with the previous 2. And here you see all 4 done. Now I'm going to touch up with a little bit of black to cover those white markings I did there. and clean up this piece. Here are the first 3 pieces. And drum roll, drum roll, drum roll. Okay, just one more second. You are about to see my pride and joy. Here it is. Oh my goodness. This one is so cute, guys. I wish I could have taken a better picture of it and see it in its grandeur. Look at that. Isn't that adorable? It is functional and pretty. Let me know what you guys think. For this project, I'll be using this frame from Dollar Tree. We're going to remove the packaging and the backing off of this. Next, I took this frame that I got from Dollar Tree as well. I'm going to remove the tag and paint it with some full card rich black paint and the other one with white full card paint. Now we are going to put these two together. I'm going to use some wood glue to attach the black frame on top of the white one. I had an option of use either the wood glue or the Tide Bond, and the wood glue dries a little bit quicker, so I went with the wood glue. I added the wood glue to the sections that had the most amount of wood surface area, and I'm going to add small sections there, not so much that it will seep through once I put this on, but just making sure that it's nice and flat, but at the same time it will have good adhesion to the other piece. And I added a little bit of hot glue in different areas just to hold it in place while the wood glue sets. I tried to line the top section of this frame with the top section of the other one, and the same thing with the sides and the corner to make sure that this looks symmetrical on all sides. Then I used this laser cutout from Dollar Tree and attached it to the bottom section of the frame using some Tide Bond. I tried my best to center the word, but at the same time center that infinity sign with the bottom of the frame. Then I took the original picture that came with the frame, and I'm going to adhere some of this plastic lining that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm going to cover the picture completely with some Tide Bond and then find a section of the vinyl liner to adhere to the picture. I wanted this flower right here, so this is the section that I'm cutting off. Then I'm going to press it down firmly onto the glue and then cut off the excess. If you are enjoying this video so far, please don't forget to leave it a big thumbs up. Thank you. And then I reposition it to the back of the frame and reposition the tabs down. Then I took this candle holder from Dollar Tree, removed the top section by rocking back and forth, and painted it with some black spray paint. Using my snips here, I'm removing any pieces that are sharp and just trying to bend them back and forth and make sure that nothing is sharp, and then go ahead and spray paint this piece. And then using a combination of E6000 and hot glue, I'm going to attach it to the back of the frame. I'm putting the E6000 in some portions and leaving some room for some hot glue as well, and then position it in place. This is just giving an instant hold to that while the E6000 sets. And it's all done. Let me know in the comment section what do you think about this one. If you're enjoying today's content, please make sure that you subscribe and you hit the notification bell so YouTube notifies you on my featured content. And thank you so much. For the next inspiration, we'll be using this frame from Dollar Tree and this wall hanging as well. I'm going to remove the packaging, just cut off the tag off of the one, but for this one, I needed to use a screwdriver. It was screwed to the cardboard, so I'm going to unscrew that from there and also remove the hangers, this hook off at the back, and also the hanger at the top. And I will keep those for other projects. And make sure the back was nice and flat. And now we're going to take this frame and paint it with one coat of full card rich black paint. I added the board onto a paintable surface, and then here I'm dabbing the paint only in the top section of the wood. I want to avoid painting the inside or the edges of this. I wanted to keep that wood look. This is a new mat that I got at Dollar Tree. You can just wipe it off after you're done painting. It is perfect. So if you find it, get it. It is truly a good tool for your arsenal. All right, now that that's dry, I'm going to take some Tide Bond and add it to all of the edges of this black. If you do this project, make sure that you do the next thing that I did first before you add this glue. I didn't think about it until now. I'm putting it on and I'm like, oh no, I don't like the edges of this. I wish I would have painted it white. So I said, you know what? I need to paint it. So I'm going to take some of my full cut white paint and I'm going to paint all of the edges. Thankfully, it takes about 15 minutes for the Tide Bond to set. So I did it as quick as possible and then placed it down onto the center and then left it to dry. Then I took this leftover piece that I had from some other project I did. This is like a stand-up or the back piece to a picture frame, and we are going to reuse it for this project. I'm going to use a nice amount of hot glue at the center or the back of the top section of this. Make sure that it is centered and add a generous amount of hot glue to make sure that stays in place. And make sure that you stand it up and hold it in place and make sure that it's at the angle that you want. Let it dry and that is it. Look how beautiful this looks. Let me know in the comment section, what do you think about this one? For the next inspiration, we will be using one of these cotton boards from the Dollar Tree. We're removing the packaging off of it, and I'm going to cover it with this liner from Dollar Tree. I'm going to cut off the section that I want to add to it, and the width is perfect for this. You're able to cover it completely with just one piece. Then I'm going to add some wood glue. Actually, I use school glue for this. I'm going to add a generous amount. You can also use wood glue if you need to, or you can use also Mod Podge or Tide Bond. I just had this at hand, so I used this first. And I'm going to make sure that I have a generous amount on the entire surface, including the handle. Then I place the liner on top of it, making sure that they are completely covering all of the edges of the cutting board. Here at the top, it was a little bit too short, so I pulled it up. And then I'm removing all the bubbles and passing my hand completely, so this will be completely adhered. Then I took my scissors, actually no, my X-Acto knife and a cotton surface from Dollar Tree, and I just traced off all the excess, leaving a nice clean look. This surface is also sandable, so you can also use your sanding block to remove the excess if you like as well. I did that here just to remove excess that I had left over in some sections. Now we're going to put this to the side, and I'm going to use this frame that I got from Dollar Tree as well, and I'm going to remove that tag and paint it with some mineral from Waverly. I gave a coat to the entire surface, including the inside portion of the frame. Here you can see exactly what I meant about this cotton board or this silicone pad, I should say. Look how easy that cleaned off, and it is brand new all over again. Game changer. Anyway, once that dried, I'm going to take some Tide Bond and add it to some sections at the back of this frame and glue it to the center of my cutting board. And then I use 4 clamps from Dollar Tree to make sure that this was completely adhered, and I left it to dry overnight. My friend, if you're still with me, thank you so much for watching. If you can please leave me in the comment section where you're watching from. I love to know how far my videos are reaching. And share it with someone who will enjoy it just as much as you do, because sharing is caring and it helps my channel grow. Thank you so much. Next, I took these medallions. I wasn't sure which one to use here. I decided to use the white one. I got this from Dollar Tree. I removed the hanger from the back using some brute force and my needle nose pliers. Then I added a generous amount of hot glue to the middle and positioned the medallion on the middle of that round frame. Then I took some of this boxwood that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm going to cut just a piece to add to the middle of this. Next, I added some hot glue to the beginning portion of the stem here, and I'm going to glue it downward at the center of the handle. Then I took some of this macrame cord that I got from Dollar Tree, added a little bit of hot glue to the end so it wouldn't unravel. Then I added some hot glue at the base of the greenery, positioned the macrame cord on top of it, and began wrapping from the beginning of that handle to about 2/3 up. If you're still with me this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. Leave me your favorite emoji in the comment section so I know who you are. Thank you so much. Next, I took some of the same macrame cord and I'm going to use it to line the entire cutting board. I'm just going to add some here at the end, putting it exactly where the beginning of that macrame cord on the handle is, and then go all the way around gluing it with small amounts of hot glue all the way around. And I did the same thing here at the top. And here it is all completed. Let me know in the comment section, what do you think about this one? I used two of these new wood pieces from Dollar Tree, and I went ahead and painted it with one coat of my apple barrel white acrylic paint. I made sure to add the paint to all the beads as well and all the grooves in between. I also painted the outside little frame and the edges as well. Here you just see me doing the very front and just making sure that my strokes are straight so they have a nice streak look to them. And I'm making sure to get into all the little grooves of the entire piece, and I recreated this with both of them. Once I was done, I'm just going to dry it really quickly with my heat gun. And then we are going to take some of this folk art rich black paint, and I'm going to dry brush it over the beads only. And I repeated the second process on the other one. And then I'm going to dry brush with the same paintbrush on the front. You see right there, going on streaks up and down just to distress this a bit. And then I'm going to take two of these hangers that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm just going to remove them off the packaging, and first I glue them with a bit of hot glue just to hold them in place. I'm just making sure first that my back is nicely done before I put these hooks on. So I'm removing the stickers with some heat. And then once that is done, I'm going to come in and use some of the rich black paint from folk art, and I'm going to paint my back in to give it a nice finished look. When I went to the edges of the project, I'm using strokes towards the edge to avoid any paint going on the sides of my project. I figure that this gives me a little bit more control and everything stays nice and neat. And I repeated the same process with the other one as well. Here they are nice and dry, and we are going to go ahead and make a hanger for these first. So I'm going to take some, I was thinking, and I figured out, let's just do the regular jute cord idea we usually do. So I took a small piece of jute cord, made a knot. But when I made the knot, how you usually put it once through the hole, I looped the piece of jute cord twice through the hole, so my knot will be a little bit thicker. And I did that in two different sections of the jute cord, and then I cut it off. Now we are going to attach it using some hot glue. I just placed hot glue in one side, placed my piece there a little bit above that nut. And then once it was a little bit stable, I added a little bit more hot glue on top of it. And we're going to loop it and do the same thing on the other side. And I'm going to hold this in place until the hot glue sets. And I did the same thing with the other one. I'm going to let them dry. Then once they were dry, I'm going to flip them over, and it's time to attach these in here. So I'm going to attach them first with some hot glue just to keep everything in place. And I'm going to then come in with the screws that came with this piece. And the screws here are measuring to make sure if they are too big. And they were a tad too big, but I still decided to use them. I didn't have any screws any smaller. So I'm just going to use the pointy section of the screw, and I'm going to just drive it with a screwdriver using some pressure. If you like, you can use a drill and pre-drill a hole. That will be making it a lot easier. But for me, that was the easiest at this time. And as you see right here, it went through a little bit, but that is fine. Let's go ahead and put the other one in there, and then we are going to take care of the back. Now that both screws are there, we are going to go ahead and take our snips here, and one of them I was able to cut off the pointy section, but I wasn't so lucky for the other ones. So I decided to add hot glue to avoid any scratching or any injury. And this is how they were turning out. I was going for a little bit more of a subtle look, so I came in with some white apple barrel acrylic paint, and I'm just turning down that black a little bit. If you like the black one more, I will just stop at this point, but I was going for a more subtle look, so I'm just going over this just to tone down this and make this be more cohesive with the metal piece. I repeated the same process with the other one, and that is it for this one. Let me know what you think. For our next inspiration, we're going to be using one of these wood signs from Dollar Tree. And I removed that tag, and we're tucking away that hanger as well so it doesn't get all painted on. Now I'm going to take some of this white acrylic apple barrel paint, and we're going to cover the entire front of this sign and the sides as well. As you see there, it was very generous, but we're going to just spread this around in the entire sign, making sure to also get the sides. And this is how it's looking so far. Now we're going to take some of this black folk art, rich black paint, and we're going to just paint the top section of the word home. Here I was using a big brush, then I found like I didn't have enough control, so I switched to a different brush that was shorter and stiffer, so this gave me a bit more control. I didn't want to get that black all on the white section I had just painted, and this made it a breeze. So I just took my time and just went over just the top section of the letters. All right, so here we are going to also paint that border using the same rich black from folk art. But if you see here, I am not doing complete coverage on this part. I want this to look distressed, so I want to make sure that some of that white peeks through that paint as well. So I'm just using the same brush that I use for the letters, but I am being intentional to not press down and to watch the amount of paint that I'm putting on my brush, so that way I do have some sections that look like they were faded away. And this is how our sign is looking so far. But we are not done yet, you know already. I'm going to take some of this boxwood that I just got from Dollar Tree. I had boxwood from Dollar Tree before, but it was a little bit less than this, and the colors in this are a lot vibrant, so I love it. So I cut up two of the stems as you see there. I had made them a little too long, so I am cutting off that excess piece of that wire off, and we're going to just play with the arrangement of this, making sure to find like the best look for this, and making sure also that the letters are not covered up. Once I was happy with the placement, I'm just going to come in with my hot glue, and we're going to glue each one of the pieces down to the frame, and repeated that with both of the pieces right there. And now we are going to create a bow. So I'm going to use a buffalo check ribbon that I got from Michael's doing a grab bag, and I'm going to just go ahead and cinch the end of the ribbon, and I'm going to create a double loop bow. I'm sorry guys that I'm out of frame right here, but pretty much what I did was just do like an awareness bow twice, just meandering the ribbon towards each side twice, and then we are cinching it in the middle as you see right there. And then I took a piece of wire and I'm tying it right there in the middle to cinch it nice and close. Once I had it there, just tighten it as much as I could so you can barely see that wire in the middle. If you're wondering about my ribbon station, I made that in a previous video. I will shortly link it in the top of this video so you're able to refer to it. And I'll try to put it in the description box as well so you're able to refer to it. Alright, so here I just dovetailed the ends of my ribbon, and we're just going to go ahead and glue it right there at the center of the two pieces of greenery. But of course I have to fluff it first, so that's what I'm doing here. And then eventually I'm going to glue it onto the middle. And you think I'm done? I'm not done yet. I'm going to replace that hanger. It was bothering me. So I'm coming in with this beaded garland from Dollar Tree, and we are going to cut off right there at the tag, but I'm going to be using this other piece for something else in a little while. So I'm cutting, making sure that the longer piece stays with the tassel. And we're going to take the rest of the beads, and I pulled off from one side that jute cord from the back of the sign. I added a little bit of hot glue to the tip, and then kind of made like a needle point with it. But please be careful here, guys. Use your finger protector. I have years of training flipping arepas without any mittens or anything, so I have no warmth or any heat sensitivity left on my fingers. So please use finger protectors. Do not do as I'm doing, because anyway, I took all the beads and threaded it onto my jute cord, as you see there, until I had the whole thing filled up. Then here I'm doing a double knot. I'm just putting that jute cord through the same hole twice instead of just once, and then tightening it up. And we are going to use a little bit of hot glue to reattach the other side to the back of the sign. Then I took a piece of craft paper and I'm going to add it to the back, because you see that mess in the back? I don't like it, and this is going to be put to be sold. So I want the new owner to be proud of this piece on all sides. So I'm just going to add some hot glue to the back of the sign on the line on each one of the edges, and I'm just going to keep flattening the paper alongside that glue, pressing it down, making sure it adheres nicely. And I did that until the entire sign was covered. Now I'm taking my X-Acto knife and I'm going to just go ahead and cut off all the excess craft paper from the perimeter of the entire sign. I really should have done this before I did the cord, but I didn't. So here I was being very careful not to cut off the jute cord of the hanger while I was trying to remove the excess paper, and I succeeded. And now we are done. Let me know what you think. Look at these, guys. Let me know how you like them. I love them. Which one is your favorite? You know, I always want to know. So make sure that you let me know in the comments. Evening, I'm going to use these panels from Dollar Tree. They are new, and I removed those tags off of them. And then I took some lightweight spackle from Dollar Tree and filled in the indentation with a flower or dandelion. I'm not sure what that is, was on there. I'm just making sure that everything is nice and flat. And I removed also the jute cord and filled in the holes using spackle as well. And once the spackle dried, I used some of my white Black & Decker paint and primer and covered both panels. Now I'm coming in with my Folk Art Rich Black, and I am painting the little sections that look like hardware right on there. I started with the front, and then I took a very tiny and fine paintbrush and painted the sides as well of that little piece. And I repeated this with all four of those areas. Here you can see how I'm using the very fine tip brush to fill in that, just to give this more of a realistic look. And here they are. Look how cute they look, guys. Adorable. All right, now I'm going to take these paint stir sticks that I got from Lowe's. I used a pack and then I used one extra. Here I just cut 3 pieces and I painted them using my Rich Black from Folk Art. And now I'm going to take these and set them up on here. I don't know if you can tell already what I'm going to make, but I hope you love it, because this right now, guys, is my pride and joy. So I took 2 of the paint stir sticks and put them at the ends, as you see there. And I'm placing the panels on each side, making sure that that hardware piece are looking in opposite sides in order to create what I'm looking for here. So excited, guys. Anyway, the third piece of paint stir stick, I position it in the middle. And I'm going to take a combination of wood glue and wood hot glue to attach the panels to the paint stir sticks. Then I took the fourth paint stir stick and I'm measuring exactly how much I need. I marked it and then I went back to my saw and cut it, and I came back and painted it black. Now I'm going to attach it to the middle. So I put it in the bottom of my piece there, and I'm going to use a combination of hot glue, hot wood glue, and regular wood glue to attach this piece. Too bad that I don't have 3 hands, otherwise I would have held that other piece in the middle. I would suggest using a clamp. I didn't. And then I had to glue it again later on. Anyway, here I'm taking 2 of these crates from Dollar Tree. I removed the tags, and I'm going to take some regular wood glue and some hot wood glue and attach these 2 together. Then I took some of my black full card paint and I'm going to add it to the creases of my crates. Then I took my white, black, and Deca paint and primer and I'm adding it to the front, insides, and sides of the crate. I am going to make sure not to get any of that paint in the creases that I just painted black. But at the same time, I am blending it in as the other paint was still a bit wet. Once it's dried, I am going to glue it to my paint, as you see there, using some hot glue and some wood glue. Both of these glues are wood. One is hot, one is regular. I added the crates to the bottom of the piece and held it in place until the hot wood glue dried. Now I'm going to come in with some of this floral foam from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to glue it into each one of my little crates, as you see there, making sure that they will flush at the bottom so it will adhere properly. Then I took some of these florals from Dollar Tree. They are red sunflowers. I love these. The color is just gorgeous. I'm going to cut them individual little stems, as you see there, and we are going to add them to our floral foam, just adding them in a zigzag pattern. Then I took these yellow florals from Dollar Tree as well, and I'm going to cut them into individual little pieces of flower and put them in between of my red sunflowers. I absolutely love the contrast between these two. Then I took some of these boxwood from Dollar Tree and I'm going to add them in between the flowers as well. I love how these look fall-like, like leaves change in color. I absolutely love them. I added the entire pick of these, filling in between. As you see there, I was playing with the placement to have a nice uniform feel of these. Then once I'm done with these, I'm going to come in with some more of these boxwood, but it's going to be red. I love this one too, guys. And I am going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut them into the individual pieces and add them in between as well. We're just putting them at different sections of where the other ones were. Just playing with it. I'm no florist. I just kept going and rearranging until I was happy with the result. And here I'm just sitting back contemplating my creation. I was satisfied with it, but I said, you know what? It's cute, but we need more. So I distressed the edges of my shutter using my black full card paint. And that was it. Look at it. Let me know what you My friend, as always, thank you so much for watching. Be blessed, be a blessing, and craft responsibly. And if you enjoyed today's content, here is some more videos you are sure to enjoy. Thank you again so much for watching. You're amazing. Bye.